Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and have kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about the importance of limiting or eliminating completely social media from your life. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, naturopathicearth.com. There is a link in the episode notes because I know it's a mouthful, where there's hundreds of articles and recipes, including a lot of good dessert recipes that are very paleo friendly. And lastly, if you support my content, there is a link for PayPal. Now, the idea of eliminating social media from your life or limiting it at the least, I think it depends on the person if this is that difficult. Because some people, and I would say if I had to make generalizations, it's women I think that have a more difficult time staying off the Pinterest, the TikTok, especially for the younger generations, the Snapchat, the Facebook if you're from the older generation and whatnot. That's not to say men aren't on it. And men, I mean, we have screen addictions big time. I did an episode over at The Awakened Man, the podcast 3-4 years ago, where the average American looks at screens 11 to 13 hours a day. So with men, it's certainly going to be television and probably more YouTube and video games and so forth. But I wanted to focus, and these are all need to be limited for a variety of reasons. I'm not even talking about weight loss, but just, I mean, look, our life, if you think of our ancestors, is meant to be out doing things. So why are we going to watch the Discovery Channel or National Geographic of these people going to cool places if we could be going out and doing cool things like hiking and other things like that? But with social media, the problem with social media is it's sedentary. Just like in most things with screens. Unfortunately now with smartphones, I guess you could refute that by saying I could go hiking and I see this at the gym. I have episodes of running at the gym on the track. There are literally, and I've only seen this to women who are walking on the track and the whole time, 30 minutes walking, on social media. It's like they're not even mindful of where they're at. They're so addicted. They're so addicted. And you talk to teachers. I mean, the phone is like another organ to these kids. You take the phone away, they don't know what to do. It's so part of who they are. And you think about it, we've only had smartphones since 2007 was the first iPhone. What's it going to be like next? I mean, it's horrible. But look, a lot of studies on this. Very clear. You can look it up. The more time you spend on social media, the higher rate of depression and anxiety, fear of missing out, and also higher rates of body dysmorphia and eating disorders. So, and I guess you could flippantly say, well, maybe it's good you should spend a lot of time on Instagram. It's going to make you have an eating disorder that would cause you to lose weight. But all joking aside, being on social media makes you live in a world that is very centered on things that you should not center your world on. The life of the worldly, the life of the hedonism, where everything is so material based, everything is so based on how you look and what you say and so forth. And I mean, you see the unduly influence that social media has on not just adults, but certainly on children. This is why you want to limit it. There's a lot of good documentaries out there about how social media creators created those apps to be addictive on purpose, right? And so in particular to weight loss, they do make you more sedentary for sure. Anything that has to do with screens makes you more sedentary. And sitting is the new smoking. So that's the most obvious issue with social media and with screens in general, is that you're going to be sitting. Now, you can listen to YouTube on your phone when you're taking a walk or even running. Somebody I know very closely runs when they're listening to a podcast, and I listen to podcasts quite a bit, but I don't run to podcasts. I need music. We've talked about this on the episode on running. But I know people who can listen to YouTube and still work out and so forth, especially if you're doing strength training and gardening or whatever, or taking your walks, you can certainly do that. But in general, it does make you more sedentary. The other thing is just like social media, you can find a lot of nefarious things vis-a-vis your weight loss. In two different areas, going back to eating disorders, certainly you can find, if you're already predisposed to eating disorders, you can find communities online that are going to reinforce your disordered eating. And we always talk about disordered eating resulting in you eating too much, but certainly there's disordered eating that will cause you to eat too much and then purge it out, like bulimia nervosa. And there's certainly going to be communities out there for anorexia and binge eating disorder and all the other eating disorders. And we don't want people to have eating disorders. And we want people to be regular weighted, but not at the expense of their overall health. And certainly we don't want people to get eating disorders and just one of the good ancillary benefits of it is it keeps your weight down. Absolutely not. We want people to have a healthy relationship with food in general. The other issue is you can, when you're on social media, you can find content that's kind of faddy, F-A-D. The cayenne pepper diet or the cookie diet or the, whatever diet. And you can get all swept up into that as well. And you can get in that rabbit hole. And, there's a lot of rabbit holes on Reddit. There's a lot of, I would say maybe less on YouTube, but certainly there's a lot of rabbit holes and a lot of these social media things where you can just go down places that are not good for your psychological health, of course, but not good for your mental health as your physical health as well in terms of your diet. So if you're already predisposed to self-loathing, because if you don't like the way you look, you can find a community over there that will tap into that and make you even more depressed and more emo, so to speak. And look, there's a reason why people who spend a lot of time on social media get depressed, because if you think of something like Facebook, which is mostly only used by older generations, you only see pictures of people at their best, right? They're not posting pictures when they're throwing things at their husband. You're not posting pictures when you're sad, right? So it's always, the perfect picture, and then they post it. And so if all you're seeing is pictures of perfect people, you think, well, I'm not always happy, I'm not always perfect, and then it makes you more depressed. And so you need to get out into the world and experience life instead of experiencing it through screens and pixels. But social media in general, I think, can be a problem with weight loss. Now, there can be positives to social media. Let's say you are losing weight and you find a community that helps you lose weight, let's say a Facebook group or whatever, and it reinforces your weight loss. That can be a good thing. But I think with all things, it's moderation, just like with eating. A lot of things are moderation. So with social media, I personally find my life to be great when I don't have any social media. And I don't have any social media. I turn off my phone at 8 o'clock. I don't have any social media apps on my phone. I have YouTube, but ironically, I don't spend any time on YouTube. And I don't spend time on Facebook. And it's just, and then certainly Snapchat and TikTok and all these other things and Reddit, I don't spend any time in. I do watch movies and I will watch television, and I don't play video games, but I just find a life simpler when I declutter it of things that I just know might give me short-term satisfaction, but long-term, it's like eating white cake, sheet cake every day, right? The first bites are good, but ultimately it's just empty. And I just find social media to be just something that I want to avoid. And if the statistics are telling us that we should avoid it in terms of our mental health and physical health, then we should avoid it. So try to avoid it as best as you can. And if you notice that you're having problems avoiding it, then you probably have a codependence on it or an addiction, and try to take steps to remedy that. Guys, post in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.